The players often grab the headlines, but it's those on the touchline who are the brains behind the success. But what makes a great manager in the modern game? Hello there, welcome to Football Now from Doha. On this week's episode of the show, we thought we'd take a deep dive into modern day coaching. Now, this current generation of players might just be the best that we've ever seen, but behind every great team, there's a great coach getting the best out of them. So what makes a great coach, and what does it take to get to the top of international football?
In the modern game, it's very difficult now to say what is the characteristic to be a really nice coach, because every type of manager is different. But I think the main characteristic is to be able to put the players related to his idea and be able to do what the coach wants and to believe in the coach. So I think is the most important. And then a great team of people around him that can help him to build what he wants. The man management is most important, because if the players don't want to play and don't believe in you, is impossible, because you can train very well, you can be the best tactic coach in the world, but if the players don't want to play, it's difficult. But I think that the tactics is also very important.
So individual management and tactics equally as important in the modern game, but how have those tactics evolved over time, and what could they look like in the future?
Yeah, in the past, I think the most important in tactics was the system, the game system, how the players are putting in the field. And then I think that in the future and in the present, we are changing from the dynamic of the system to be the whole game involved. All the players know what to do in all the games. So it's normal that one player can play at attack and then can play in defense and then play in midfielder, because now the players have to know all the game and not only one moment of the game or one position. So I think that in the future we'll have more football players and not so much players from one position.
Now, two men that have revolutionised English football over the past 5 or so years have been Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola. Both were pretty successful managing in Germany as well, and prior to that, Guardiola even managed to lift a couple of European Cups, managing Barcelona in La Liga. The rivalry between their Liverpool and Manchester City sides has been one of the most intense the Premier League has ever seen, so much so that Klopp has made extra effort to maximise every detail in the game, including hiring a throwing coach, Thomas Gronenmark.
I wrote a tweet about a player from FC Midtjylland who has improved his throwing with almost 14 meters with my coaching. He was sold for around 5 million euros or so to Borussia Mönchengladbach. It was actually that tweet that Jurgen Klopp saw, so he called me. And the reason why he called me was because Liverpool's throw-ins were really bad in the 17-18 season. He could have been trying to solve everything himself, because he's an experienced manager, working for really many years, played himself. But Jurgen Klopp had the courage to call me and ask for help. And I think that's a really, really important thing. It's actually quite hard to ask for help, especially if you're really good at something and then try to reach out to someone who's not, at least not in the world, real known at that time. It worked quite well. In the 17-18 season, Liverpool were number 18 out of 20 in the Premier League with a possession of 45.4%. So third last, and in my first season, 18-19, we improved to 68.4% possession and went from number 18 to number 1, and then also to number 2 in the whole Europe.
Well, just like in men's football, there's plenty of top coaches in the women's game too. The likes of Sarina Wiegman and Emma Hayes have brought attractive styles of play alongside winning those all-important trophies with the likes of Chelsea and the Lionesses. In France, Sonia Bonpastor managed to win the Champions League in her first season with Lyon. So how is coaching in women's football evolving as the game continues to grow?
As you mentioned there, the likes of Emma Hayes and Sonia Bonpastor doing amazing things in the world of women's football. And I think that's been mainly down to more investment. I think there's certainly been more investment since the Euros, from clubs, from football associations as well. And that's led to more opportunities, more full-time positions, which means that, female coaches, managers, don't have to have a part-time job on the side anymore. They can fully focus on the football. And I think that's really been really beneficial and really important for women's football.
Now, a bit closer to where we are, coaching in the Arab world is developing at a rapid rate too. The FIFA World Cup here in Qatar saw Morocco reach the semi-finals, becoming the first side from the region to do so. They were led by the first Arab coach to reach the semi-finals as well, Walid Regragui. So, could we see more coaches from the Middle East rising to prominence?
I think so, yes, because if I give, let's say, two examples, if you're looking to the Aspire Academy, which is fantastic, globally well known, based in Doha. There is also a system, to develop the younger players to a full national team players. And also the national team of Qatar, you can see that some players in that national team who performed during the World Cup starts also at Aspire. So that means that the philosophy is there, the strategy is there, the development path away is well recognized. And I think that that's the way to do it, to be honest.
So then the future of football coaching is set to be an interesting one indeed. That brings us to the end of this week's show. Do let us know your thoughts at home using the hashtag FootballNowCoaching, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.